Hey team, today I want to discuss SSL. You've probably heard that said around the dojang. Maybe your instructor has said it, maybe another helper has said it. SSL means sweating, smiling, and learning. Guys, we want to make sure every student has the best opportunity to succeed. One of the ways we do that is we use a little bit of psychology and a little bit of physiology to make sure that they're enjoying every lesson and they're getting something out of it. So when you set up a lesson plan or when you come into class and you're assisting on the floor, we want to make sure students by the end of class are getting those three things: sweat, smile, and learn. Okay? So if I come in here and I go to a class and maybe, I've been doing martial arts for a long time and the class is front kicks. And for the entire class, we sit here and we do slow front kicks. This is great for training body mechanics. And I might learn how to be more accurate with my strikes. I might learn how to be a little bit more balanced. But if I spend 45 minutes doing just this, I'm going to stop learning after about the 40th kick, okay? So I've now lost complete interest in this. What I want to do is start by getting a little bit of a sweat on. The reason we do that is because it engages our body and says, hey, this is an exciting thing. So maybe at the beginning of class, we start off with some jumping jacks or some cardio or some game that requires some physical exertion, right? We usually do some warm-ups at the beginning of all of our classes, regardless of the style of class, because a little bit of sweat on means that your muscles and your joints are ready to move, they're loosened up, okay? I don't perform my best until I've sweated for at least a minute or two, all right? So that's a good reason to get people sweating. The next part is to smile. If I don't enjoy what I'm doing, I'm gonna quit. And consistency is one of the keys to helping people be successful. So having people come back to class every day, or not every day, but a couple of times a week, and have them continue that for a long period of time is going to be the key for us helping them to succeed at martial arts training and becoming the best kind of person they can be. Getting that long-term fitness, setting those goals and achieving them, and becoming a completer of things, okay? So the way that we do that is we make it enjoyable. I personally like to tell some jokes. Not every instructor likes to do that. You'll go to some schools and they're pretty serious about their training. But what you'll notice is they have great community. So whether it's before they get on the mat, maybe they're chit-chatting with their friends before class, or maybe it's after their mat and they're kind of sharing the pain that was in during class, right? Maybe they're enjoying the camaraderie that comes with shared difficulty, and they're smiling with each other. That's what we want to do. We can make connections with students. We can joke a little bit with them. We still want to maintain some good, hard training, but if people are enjoying what they're doing, they're setting up their body and their brain to want to come back to this place and have a great time. That's one of the reasons that we have that 3-foot rule about greeting people. One of the reasons we're doing our 3x3s consistently. All right, so now we've got sweat and we've got smile. Now we want to learn. Just like I was showing you earlier, if I sit here and I do a whole bunch of front kicks, for me, as a black belt who's been training for over 20 years, man, I could spend 20 minutes on front kicks and I could actually enjoy myself and get better at something. I can learn through that process. But if you think about it, a white belt who walks on the floor for the first time, not only do they not have the level of focus required to do something like that, but they don't really understand what they're doing yet. So what we want to do is we want to set them up for success by saying, hey, here's what we're going to learn today. Here's how we're going to learn it. And then do that with them, and then go back and we want to recap and say, this is what we learned today. Or even ask them, hey, what did you learn today? This is a great way to make sure that they realize that they're making progress. Man, especially when we hit those intermediate levels, it's so easy for us to forget that we're making progress. That purple belt, green belt range, man, it's hard sometimes because we've been doing this for a while and we don't feel like we're progressing. It's kind of a slower pace than we were moving in our beginner programs, and the material is a little bit harder. At that point, it's important to ask people, hey, what did you learn today? Because then they think back and they say, oh, you know what? I learned how to make sure that my knee was up high enough on my front kicks. Or I learned how to make sure my hands were up. Or I learned how to keep better balance when I was doing my kicks. When we point out those things, then they feel like they're making progress. When people feel like they're making progress, they're more likely to continue to try to make progress. That's why running on a treadmill is really not fun for most people, because when you run on the treadmill, it's just doing the same thing over and over and you're not moving at all. That's why they have things like the Peloton program that has a screen up in front of you where there's either a coach talking to you or where you feel like you're running through some sort of a valley or something and they have a video of a trail there, because it makes you feel mentally like you're making progress. So we want to make sure that students are both sweating, smiling, and learning, because those three things together will anchor their mentality and say, this is a good place for me to be and I want to come back. And when they come back, they're going to continue to get those values and benefits of martial arts training so that they continue to become the best person they can over the course of their training time with us. All right, guys, SSL, super important. I know you guys can make this work, and I hope you will try hard. I'm looking forward to seeing it on the mats. We'll see you guys in the next video.